let's talk Gophers. All right. So news
Woo-hoo.
broke 3 days ago. It's insane, like how it's only been a couple of days since these things actually premiered. So Dipcatcher, who has created what the you can help me out with this, but like Maxi, and did he create all those different
Yes.
hex staking contracts?
All the derivatives. So there's, Maximus, there's Decimus, there's Lucky, um, Trio, Base. He did the pool party thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of the derivatives. So
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
a
Him
pretty
and
intelligent guy. Sorry.
definitely is. Him and Goldkey definitely have created a lot of good products. And he was on Dipcatcher too. I know we talked about like him and Alex McWhirter's segment on Matty Allen's the Hex conference was definitely one of my favorite segments. I think you said the same thing. So always love to hear what Dipcatcher has to say, but love that he has come out with these. So this is, first off, we should explain the first part of this, and that is this new phenomenon of the ERC 404s, which, long story short, is essentially how you can buy fractions of an NFT. So you don't have to shell out whatever it may cost for an entire NFT based on what the NFT's current price is. You can basically DCA into it. And at the time that you have one full token or one full NFT at that point, that is when the picture, the JPEG, will just like appear for you essentially. So you won't know as you're buying like fractions of whether it be the Gophers or whatever this Pandora project was, which was kind of the first mover as far as NFTs go on Ethereum. It was this Pandora entity. But whatever the NFT is, you would need to surpass one full token to actually find out which one you end up with, depending upon which gopher it is you're after or whatever it may be. First off, Ewok, I mean, what do you, before we actually get into the gopher stuff, I've had a feeling you had some up. Before we get into it specifically, what do you make just of this technology and how big of a, I guess, narrative for this bull market do you think this will be? Because it's kind of one of those, like, I know Sami always talks about like cycle 1 versus cycle 2 narratives. It's one of those things where, yeah, this could be like a new narrative because it is a new thing, but it's also not a new thing. It's just kind of, we talk about horizontal scaling a lot and making things better that already exist. Well, that's kind of what this is. I mean, like, people were kind of addicted to NFTs last time around, and now you have a way of DCAing into one without having to like go on OpenSea and buy like some $3,000 NFT or something like that. So, yeah, what do you make overall of this as a creation? Oh, you there?
Sorry. Yeah, I'm here.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
I thought I was going to sneeze. It was a cough. No, I think there's a lot of, I think there's a lot of cool things that could come of this. I could see all kind of derivative type things being created out of it. Maybe even with, say, real estate investments or things like that, where you could fractionalize different people buying in to, say, said apartment building. You create a token, and everybody that kind of puts money in has a fraction of it. Now, if you own the whole thing, then you would definitely get the deed, which would be the NFT, if that's possible. Something along those lines. There's always real world use case things that are out there that could be kind of turned into this. So, they did the same thing with the HSIs, how we made the hex stakes into a NFT kind of thing. So, there's always good ideas out there that can be put into real world, use cases. I think it's a good idea. And you and I were talking about this prior, and I don't know if you want to kind of go down this rabbit hole yet of
Let's go down the
actual,
gopher hole.
the actual NFT itself. And so what happens is, as you buy portions, say if you buy, all right, we'll pull up the chart just for a reference, and you can see what this thing has done. It's up to $900 already for a full one token of the gopher. So if you buy one token, as you earn that 1.0, you get an actual NFT that is minted, and it becomes one of these. you know, now some of them are rare. I don't know how rare they get.
I'm pretty sure the pink, the purple or pink glasses is one of the most rare. I forget
Okay.
that one's name. Gizmo,
Either
yeah.
Gizmo, yeah. So
Yeah.
um I thought at one point it had showed how rare, or there was a pie chart somewhere of
Dipcatcher, I'll try to find the, yeah, you go ahead and do what you're doing. I'll try to find that from Dipcatcher. I know he tweeted it.
but my point anyway was, okay, so you own 1.0, you get your NFT. If you don't like it, sell point one, you burn the NFT and buy point one back. You mint a new NFT until you keep doing that until you get whatever you wanted. That's one of the things that it takes the rarity out of some of these special ones that you can get really lucky with. And if you spend enough in fees, you'll eventually just get it without having to buy a whole new token to try again type thing. So, that was one of the things that I'm like, well, if you end up with a rare one, is it really rare, or did somebody just keep doing that until they got the one that they wanted? That
Well, I
was
mean,
my
there's
only
still,
downside for it.
but to me, like, does that really make it less rare? I mean, like, yeah, it's probably a stupid way to go about doing it, and like you said, you're eating yourself up with fees and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Will it really be ended it or worth it at the end of the day? But in what way? I don't know that it's really making it less rare because you're probably like you just said, like eating yourself up, like constantly doing these other transactions until you finally get the one you want.
Yeah,
You
but
may never get it.
if there's one that's minted, say, one out of every 50 times, and
Mhm.
you get it on the third one or whatever it may be, because you kept trying, you got a more rare one. I don't know. It just, like I said, it kind of takes some of the rarity out of the luck of the draw. I think you know, just my
I don't know that I don't know that it will, but I still think that, yeah, I agree with you that it won't be a good thing to do. To constantly do that. I mean, I would just want to get the one that I get and move on from there. And admittedly, like neither one of us were NFT people or anything as
no,
far as like the actual JPEG type of NFTs last cycle. I just found that
no,
pie
and
chart fun.
I'm not endorsing spending $900 on one of these things either. So don't take that the wrong way. We're just kind of talking
Right.
about the project and what it does and how it actually works. Yeah, I don't have any. I don't know that I'll be buying any. I do, like I said, I respect Dipcatcher and the work that he's done. It's just not for me. So
I'm taking a look. So I just copied it into the chat, and let me send it to you if you want to share your screen on it. I'm going to send you the pie chart that he made. So yeah, so there is one that's only 6%. Hang on here. I was totally wrong about Gizmo. Sorry, Gizmo. Neon Flash Drive Glowpaw is 6%. He looks like the rarest, he or she. Camo Lockdown McTunnel is about 8%. So they are
Camo
the
Lockdown McTunnel.
yeah, they are the most rare. So you'd have to work pretty hard. Now you're probably going to get Minty. I know Minty's been tweeting a lot about what's been going on with this protocol. Minty Big Bank Burrower. So he's kind of been talking a lot about what's been going on. But yeah, there you go. There's the pie chart for there you go, the most rare and everything. If you guys want to check that out, I think this is great because it's funny. Like you can look at this and think it's stupid and laugh at it, and we are, but also people are going to buy these. They already
Yeah.
are buying these. And this is the very beginnings of the bull market. Like this is exactly the kind of stuff that is going to be popping off. Like, okay, everybody's making a big deal about, so we had the Super Bowl the other night. And regardless of what you think about that overall broadcast or anything, one definite fact about it was that there were no crypto ads. So nobody's talking about crypto on the Super Bowl or anything right now. But if 1 year from now, when we've got the Chiefs and another team in the Super Bowl, we could have Gophers on the damn Super Bowl. I don't mean that seriously, but I mean we could definitely have some kind of ridiculous thing you never would have expected in a Super Bowl ad. I mean that's the way these things do go. And I think it's awesome that Dipcatcher has done this like right as this narrative started. I mean, we
Yeah.
weren't a week removed, seemingly, from the Pandora platform on Ethereum with these ERC 404s. And he already has these ones out. He clearly had all this stuff in his back pocket. And I did hear him on his great stream the other night talking about how he's been kind of researching this stuff for a while now. But he has all these images made up, that videos made up and everything, character name. Like he had all this stuff ready to go. And the funny name too, because Gophers actually stands for what?
Good old fashioned unregistered security.
Yes.
That's
Fantastic.
yeah.
Tongue-in-cheek humor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and the other point. So I wanted to make sure we brought this up. So he also made them so they were thick liquidity. So there's a limits to any kind of massive downsides. Also could limit upside, of course, too. But it makes the chart look really nice from the beginning. We're not seeing like an instant crash back down or anything like that. What would be some other potential advantages of that, Ewok? Because a lot of times, like with these new tokens and things, usually people set them with thin liquidity because they want to have these like, gigantic moves that they can brag about eventually. But what do you make of him providing or having thicker liquidity with these as far as like a long-term strategy?
Well, it just supports the price. Now it does make them harder to run, but take a look at the chart. I'll pull it up again. I mean, it's
Not too many days, but still.
Well, we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, and it's looking pretty healthy. Now, obviously, this first run up was before a lot of the liquidity was probably put in place, which made it run harder. And then, people started adding liquidity right in here or wherever, within this general range somewhere is when they started adding it. So, it could taper off, but keep an eye on it. It could easily get to $1,000, I think, as it takes off.
Oh, I think it practically already was there, nearly. Yeah. So, yeah, we're very close, and I know the copy on the one on ETH, which the ETH one was deployed first, by almost a day, I believe. So it's actually kind of weirdly followed the trends that we've seen in the PulseChain ecosystem with the difference in prices, actually. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to keep. Go ahead.
I didn't look at the price on. Let me look up the price on Ethereum. Let me check it out while you're talking.
Yeah, it was a little bit discounted, I believe, from the PulseChain one. But and then what I was thinking too is also like, so when you find out which gopher you get, and apologies for me as somebody who just hasn't really dealt with NFTs too much, but would you essentially just go and like you can check out which one you have on OpenSea? And
Yes.
is that so? How does that work? Like you actually can trade them on there. And then the other question I saw somebody bring up is, does OpenSea support PulseChain? Like, do we know what's going on there? Because I've never used OpenSea.
So here's the thing: you don't just trade the NFT. You have to send one full token to somebody, which gives them the right to it. Like once you own that, it's not then detachable, I don't believe, from the coins. Because you already have it's tied to the 1.0 amount of tokens. So essentially, rather than you don't have to use OpenSea, you would just send that address to the one token, and they would end up having control of that.
I see.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. So this is the ETH version, yeah. So it's at about 750. So yeah, I didn't even notice. What was the PulseChain one at? Like 850 or 9 or something?
741.
Well, that's what this is the ETH one right here, right? It's 741.
Oh yeah, this is
Last I looked, the Pulse one was like outpacing it by just a little bit. I don't know if it still is, but I mean, this is something that I definitely am interested in these. I just kind of wanted to let a little bit of time go by and see where we go. 898. It looks
898 to 741. Yeah. So real close. Still pretty close.
Yeah, pretty close. Kind of mirrors some parity numbers of some other things in PulseChain versus Ethereum. So Daddy Hexler says he got some Gophers on the first day. Pretty happy. I mean, yeah, I would be too. I mean, this is under different circumstances. Like if this were way deeper into the bull market, and this narrative had already been around for a while, and maybe he just did come out with these or whatever, and it's kind of a lagging thing. That would be one thing. But I mean, Dipcatcher is on top of this. He deployed this as soon as this narrative picked up. PulseChain already is getting a lot of notoriety for some of the altcoins that are on it. We see more and more people coming here, especially because the fees are so low. A lot of people are like comparing PulseChain and Solana recently because, two popular layer ones, but Solana already is run very hard. So we are seeing people spill over into PulseChain now. So, yeah, I think this could be a really good catalyst.
Speaking of fees being really low, if you need to do anything on Ethereum, it's under 20 right now. So
yeah. Somebody said Gwei was looking good today, and yeah, I just saw that myself. So pretty dang good for a Tuesday. Especially that was the one thing I was going to say with the CRC 404 thing is that was really the culprit of those crazy gas prices last week. I mean, we saw like
over 200, 250.
I saw 300 a couple times.
Oh, I didn't see that, but
yeah, I sent you a couple screenshots. I know, but yeah, I saw 300 for now. It was only for like minutes at a time, but still, yeah, it was absolutely insane last week, and even in the evenings, like it wasn't even just during the daytime. So yeah, so calming down a little bit on the initial ERC 404s, but I'm sure more are going to come. And yeah, shout out to Dipcatcher. I'm definitely interested in these and excited to follow these as we get through the bull market here. So
yeah,
do you have any other thoughts on them at all? On the
no,
Gophers?
no,
Do you have a favorite Gopher?
I don't even know their names.
Okay.
Don't have a favorite.
Okay.
It's a cool idea. The graphics are pretty cool. You know what I mean? I like
dig it.
He's definitely been thinking about it. You can tell he just didn't throw this together overnight or a week or whatever. He's been planning this thing out with the good old-fashioned unregistered security between the name and the images and the just everything. It's he did a great job with it all. So pretty cool.
I think so too. Yeah, I'm a big fan.